So assess what you saw yesterday.
Well, yeah, I saw kind of just what you said. Zach Wheeler pitched great, like he always does. I mean, he's one of the very top pitchers in baseball, maybe the best pitcher in baseball, depending on who you talk to, just because he's such a complete pitcher. And I think even if you talked to him yesterday, he would say he didn't feel his absolute best. That Kybert Ruiz 12th pitch at bat that ended in a homer. He actually threw a pretty good fastball inside. Ruiz got around on it, and I asked Zach about it afterward. I said, "Looked like a good pitch." He goes, wasn't my best fastball. Could have had a better fastball on it. So he makes a good pitch. I mean, objectively, I thought he made a good pitch, and he's like, "No, it could have been better." So high expectations for him, no doubt. Yeah, you mentioned Bohm. He's such a good, smart hitter. He was going into that bat. He said, "Yeah, I know this guy he has some cut on his ball." So I was really looking for something on the outer half of the plate. I just kind of zero in on something hard on the outer half. And that's exactly what he got. He got a fastball on the outer half of the plate. He was ready for it. He jumped on it and then just crushed the ball to the wall. Harper did not have a great spring by his standards. He did not homer in 44 plate appearances all spring, and then he hit that big home run in the seventh inning. I thought Kirkring threw the ball well. Alvarado was great again, just like he was all spring. Matt Strahm, I thought, for a guy that had not pitched in a game since March 5th, I thought he looked okay. Considering the long layoff that he had because of the shoulder injury. So those are probably some of the positives I saw yesterday. But obviously there's a lot of strike. Oh, you know what? Let me mention this too. And I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but Turner did go 0 for yesterday, right? He went 0 for 4 with the walk.
Yeah.
But he did see 6 pitches in that first at bat against Gore. He saw 8 in his second. 8 pitches in his second at bat against Gore. So he helped kind of run up the pitch count on him. I think he saw 28 pitches overall. I looked at the numbers. I think there's only 3 batters in baseball yesterday that saw more pitches than Trea Turner did yesterday.
Well, that's good.
In a sense, I mean, everybody was talking about, is he going to change his approach? Is he going to be more selective? Is he going to act more like a leadoff hitter? And although he did not get a hit today, he did put 2 balls in play. And he did see a ton of pitches to help get Mackenzie Gore out of that game.
All right, we're going to talk about some faux pas a little later, but let's talk about your opinion on they're going to platoon this leadoff hitter situation. Now, you've been around those guys. I'm not so sure they like change. I think what Rob Thompson has figured that out about them, but here he is. He's going to flop leadoff hitters and change the lineup accordingly, at least early on. How do you think that's going to work out for them?
It really is the great unknown, but you're right. I think these guys, for the most part, they like to know before they even come to the ballpark, they kind of like to know where they hit. They're creatures of habit. There's some comfort level there. But I also think that Rob has talked to these guys and said, listen, this might, and I don't know if this is his exact words, but in a sense, this could be our last year together as a group. I really want to make sure that we can win a World Series. And so I really want to kind of explore every edge we can make to kind of win a World Series. So would you guys be willing to be a little bit flexible early in the season? And I think Trea Turner for sure said yes, and I think Kyle Schwarber for sure said yes. I think both of those guys are open to moving up and down in those first 4 spots. So we'll see how it goes. But Rob basically said yesterday, don't be surprised if Kyle Schwarber's hitting leadoff on Saturday against Jake Irvin, who's a right-hander. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I wouldn't be surprised at one point if Schwarber ends up back there full-time. I wouldn't be surprised if, Bryson Stott has a great year, if he moves up at some point. But, this is the way it's going to be for the short term.
It was interesting that they did get him in an advantageous position where Harper hit and where Schwarber hit yesterday against Washington was pitching. So it did work out there. But I want to look at the 8th inning with you, Phillies 8th. So they get Kepler doubles, Castellanos singles. Now here comes Stott. This is problematic. I mean, he sees 3 pitches. He looks at 2 of them, and he's out. And then Marsh. Now, they've got these 2 lefties stacked at the bottom of the lineup. And yesterday it was a considerable disadvantage because Marsh really couldn't get a bunt down, and then he winds up taking two strikes looking. Your opinion of that with Stott Marsh?
Yeah, for sure. I thought Stott's at bat. I was like, wow, he really had been having good at bats in spring training. I think he walked like 13 times. He was really having a nice spring. So that at bat kind of jumped out at me immediately. And then the Marsh at bat. Of course, hindsight's always 20/20, but I couldn't help but think about, man, that could have been a spot for like maybe a Buddy Kennedy if he made the bench, or right-handed bat, or maybe a pinch hitter in that situation. But Marsh, those two guys at the bottom. I know Marsh. What did he strike out 4 times yesterday?
Yeah,
just not a good day. Not a good day for Brandon Marsh. But this is kind of good or bad. I think they kind of want to learn either way what kind of guy they have here. They've talked a lot the last 2.5 seasons coming over from the Angels, and I think it was July of 2022. They've talked a lot about, we think Brandon Marsh can be an everyday player. And so I think they're going to give him some run early in the season. That means against lefty pitching. That means playing almost every day. And they just want to find out. So not a great debut for Brandon Marsh, no doubt. I'm sure he was frustrated yesterday, but I think for the short term anyway, and I don't know, I say short term, I think if you're going to run him out there and really truly figure out if he's going to be an everyday guy, I think you got to run him out there till at least mid-May just to see what he does.
All right, so you're saying it would have been you're saying it would have been detrimental mentally maybe to put Rojas in that spot to get a bunt down?
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. Well, I'm not saying detrimentally it would have affected him mentally, but I think more just the Phillies just want to see. Like I think they were probably less concerned about what Brandon Marsh how he would feel about it, more as they just want to, okay, you worked at this, you think you can do it, let's see what you can do.
All right. I mean, that's fair enough. I probably would have let him hit in that situation too, but just the feeble effort by both those guys. I mean, Stott took 3
both
pitches.
Both those at bats were bad.
Yeah, I mean, Stott took pitches in the middle of the quadrant, all 3 of them. He's the one, including the one he swung at. All right, so let's go to the bullpen now, and I don't know if the plan is that Romano's going to be the 8th inning guy early on, or whether he's going to do it accordingly. Do you have any insight on that? And yesterday I guess they didn't want to throw him into the fire as a 9th inning closer. But what do you think the plan will be here?
I think the plan short term is going to be kind of how Rob has run it in the past, which is based off of matchup, based off of like that pocket of the lineup. They like to say the pocket of the lineup that's coming up that next inning, how they think certain pitchers match up better. And so I think tomorrow, for instance, it could be Alvarado in the 8th and Romano in the 9th. It remains to be seen, but yeah, Romano came out. That jumped out at me because I thought he just looked really shaky. Obviously, right? I mean, I'm not.
He was all over the place. He was just all over the place.
Yeah, He was all over the place. So I went up to him after the game, and not only was he all over the place, he threw a lot of sliders. I think he threw like 29 pitches, 19 sliders, and just I went back and I looked, and historically, he does throw more sliders than fastballs, but the difference is like 55, 45, around that range. Well, he was 66% sliders yesterday and 33% fastballs. And maybe one of the reasons is those first few fastballs that came out, they were like 92.5, 93. And so he didn't have his velo going on. So I went up to him in the clubhouse after the game. I said, was something going on? Are you not feeling right? And he said he was a little bit quick to the plate. He wasn't in sync, and that kind of really affected him the first few at-bats in terms of getting velo on his fastball and just kind of commanding his pitches. He did kind of figure it out there toward the end. The velo was back up. I think it was like one of his last fastballs was like 96.8, which is more of what they expect from him. He also did say he did feel some nerves maybe coming into that 8th inning, making his Phillies debut. So hopefully he got that out of the system, and hopefully he figured out, mechanically speaking, he can identify that being too quick to the plate quicker. So he doesn't have a repeat performance, because obviously he's super important to their success this year. I mean, they let Hoffman and Estevez go, and they felt comfortable in that because they think Kerkering's going to ascend, and they think Romano can kind of recapture that form he had with the Blue Jays a couple of years ago when he was an all-star.
Talking to Todd Zolecki, MLB.com. Todd, last question, because I know you guys that cover the game manage it right along with everybody else. And I'm managing the game. And so here we go into the 10th. And you got 2 outs. And you got Poche pitching. It's a left-hander against Harper. I didn't think he was going to throw him a strike. He wound up did throw him a strike that he swung at, right? But
Right.
He kind of walks him like if you're not going to go after the left-hander, at that point, don't you have to bring the right-hander in to pitch the Bohm?
Yeah, that was right. That was a little confusing to me. Obviously,
You're worried more about
for-
Schwarber on deck than you are about the hitter with 2 outs, I thought.
Right, and the thing with Bohm is, I mean, and that's why they like him so much, and that's why I guess, honestly, in the offseason, I think they thought they would get more of a return when they talked about trading him, is because he is such a good, smart hitter in terms of like making contact and putting the ball in play, and he has been really clutch over the last 3 years. There's this metric, I don't know if anybody knows it, it's called wins probability added. And he's actually been third on the team the last few years. Only Harper and Schwarber have been more clutch. It's basically like a clutch stat. So I don't know.
He wasn't. Davey wasn't reading the chart. Apparently,
Davey wasn't reading the chart. You
Yeah.
can look at Bohm's win probability added metrics over the last 4 years.
yeah. All right. Well, in any event, they are on their way to 162-0, and people are going to bitch about it. So, what are you doing on your off day in D.C.?
My brother actually works down here, so I'm going to go grab dinner with him tonight. And after this, I'm just going to go find a good place to get some lunch and walk around a little bit. I love D.C. It's a great walking city.
It really is. Thanks, Todd. We appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Mike. Take care.
Todd Zolecki, covering the Phillies for MLB.com. There you go.
Hey, everybody, it's Bill Colarulo. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you can engage during the show, and you're not going to want to miss all the content that we post. It's not only the live videos. It's videos after the fact. It's our shorts. It's all the content you want as a Philadelphia sports fan. Looking forward to connecting.